Hey everybody, Tyla and Sally here. I really like it when I get to feel like an announcer for some reason. Like, that's a really fun thing for me.
Great, we'll add more of that to the podcast.
Guys, we're here to make an announcement.
Yes.
So that's what we need. We need more announcements.
Yep, I'm excited.
This is a special episode.
I'm excited. I'm nervous. I'm excited.
Sally's nervous. I'm excited. Well, I'm a little nervous too because I don't know how y'all are going to feel about this, but I feel good about it.
Yeah, I feel good about it too. We did tease it when we had our Patreon announcement. I mean, I guess we didn't tease that we were going to air these kinds of things.
Yeah, so we had this great idea. I had this great idea. I'm going to take credit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, really, a year ago today had the idea, probably.
We're going to be technical.
I was like, I'm going to take credit, and then something, it was like, it wasn't you, it was God. All right, so Spirit came to me with this really incredible insight that a year ago today is a beautiful platform for reflection, and it wants to be more than that. It also is meant to be a beautiful platform for manifestation.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So
look at those sirens.
I know.
It's true.
A year ago today is like, are you paying attention? Whoop, whoop, whoop. Wouldn't it be funny if every time I wanted to emphasize something being true on the podcast now, I just started making siren sounds?
You're amazing.
Oh my God, do you hear the horn honking?
Yes, I do.
I don't have to do it. God's doing it for me.
Yep, you know, that's it.
Anyway, so I had this realization that, you know, the way to manifest desire into our lives is to align with the energy of what we want.
Mm-hmm.
And what better way to do that than to talk about it as though you already have it? And not just that, but to talk about it as though you've already had it for a year.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not new anymore. You've been living in the energy of this thing that you want for a full year. And we tried it.
Yeah.
One time with my boyfriend, Matt. And it was really, really exciting.
Very powerful.
Yeah, we recorded an episode with him. And then topic was, a year ago today, I landed a role as a series regular on a television show. Which is something that has not yet happened in our physical reality.
Mm-hmm.
So we recorded that on a Tuesday. And on Friday, he booked and shot a Verizon commercial and landed a meeting with an agent, which ended up agreeing to represent him. And also, something happened with his SAG eligibility. I'm not sure if he became fully eligible or just received one voucher. I don't really understand how it works. But anyway, you get the picture.
Good things happen.
Good things happened. And we were like, what are we going to do with this? Are we going to monetize it? Are we going to, we don't know.
Yeah.
And then
we did make it one of the things for our Patreon, one of the rewards.
Yeah. So if you want to do this with us, there are a few ways to do that. You can donate through Patreon and receive a session that way. Or you could just email us and we'll record a session with you, and all you have to do is agree to let us air it on the podcast.
Yeah. You don't have to air it if it's a Patreon one.
Right. So that's there's the rub. I don't even really know what that means, but I've always wanted to.
So now we recorded one with me.
Yeah.
And that's what you're about to listen to.
Yeah. We recorded one with Sally about something that she's wanting to manifest. Hasn't yet manifested in her physical reality, but it's probably going to happen any day now that we recorded this episode.
Mm-hmm.
So what you're about to hear is not yet true in this reality right here, right now, but it is true somewhere in some dimension. So we're trying to tap into that. Sally.
Hence my nerves and excitement.
Yeah, I was going to say, share a little bit about how you're feeling, because we just finished recording it and now we're recording this thing to go to the beginning. So how are you feeling?
I'm feeling all the feelings.
Mm-hmm.
All of them at once, and they're running through my body, and it's really massive. I'm really excited because this is something that I really, truly desire. And I'm really nervous because it hasn't happened yet, and I'm, like, putting it out there into the world. Yeah, I feel, and now I'm feeling really emotional, like I could cry. So I'm going to lay down and probably cry and maybe convince Justin to watch an episode of Orphan Black.
Right. Yeah, so, oh boy, we haven't done one of these for me yet, but I can already, owning your desires can be a very challenging thing, especially owning them publicly. So I want to really celebrate you, Sally, for being the first person to do this on the podcast.
Thank you.
You didn't sound like you
I'm
received
like,
that.
oh man, we're really going to do this.
We're really going to air it.
That's just what I keep thinking.
Yeah.
That's all that keeps happening.
Yeah. So I hope that everybody out there, I hope you will enjoy it. And this is our first one that we're doing like this. And I hope that you'll keep that in mind too. We're learning.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited to start doing this for people who are not me and Sally. So if after you listen to this, you're like, I have a dream I want to manifest and I am not too scared to talk about it in public, or I am freaking terrified to talk about it in public, but I also know how powerful it could be.
Yeah.
Go ahead and send us an email at ayearagopodcast@gmail.com and we will get you scheduled.
Totally.
And I cannot wait. Oh my God, I'm so excited. I think this is going to be really powerful. And it doesn't cost anything. All you have to do is agree to let us air it. And I think, Sally, we haven't really talked about this, but I'd like to just take people in the order that they come. And when people start beating down our door, we'll just have a wait list.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Great.
You heard it here first.
Yeah.
Breaking news.
Breaking news. Oh, boy. So, I guess that's it. Do you have anything else you want to say?
Just enjoy it, and if you hate it, I love you.
If you hate it, that's okay.
Yeah.
But we're going to keep doing it. So
yeah. Well, and not every episode's going to be
not every
this.
episode. We're not getting rid of our format. We're just
adding,
expanding.
Yeah, totally.
We're expanding.
Like those big bright windows that I'm going to have soon.
Yay! All right. That's it.
That's it.
Enjoy.
We love you.
We love you.
Bye.
Bye. Hi, Sally.
Hi, Tyler.
Hi, listeners.
Welcome to our podcast.
A year ago today. Dun, 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 dun. It's been a really long time since we recorded a podcast, but I would say we nailed that intro.
Yeah, this is great. We're crushing it.
Yeah. I was bouncing my shoulders while I said that. That's why it sounded funny.
I knew, yeah, you were doing some sort of movement. I wasn't sure what. You made like a little shimmy. Oh boy. I'm sick. So
I'm sorry.
Just letting you know. I might sound weird. It's because I'm sick.
Okay,
I
well,
haven't
don't
been
mumble.
sick in like 3 years, so this is interesting.
You haven't been sick in 3 years?
Yeah, in a really long time. Whenever it was that I decided that I was no longer going to be sick because it was my resistance showing up, and then like I haven't been sick since then until now.
What's that noise?
That's people upstairs. This has been a weird morning.
What are they doing? Like hammering?
I don't know what they're doing. They're usually so quiet, and this morning they've been so loud. They have a child of some age or other, and I think the child was like running back and forth earlier, and I was like, all right, well, I hope the kid stops doing that.
Put that kid down for a nap.
At 9 a.m.
You know,
It's nap time.
I feel like that's a real thing.
Well, there you go.
Chloe's only
I don't know.
taking one nap a day now, but for a while she was napping from like 9 to 10 and then again from like 2 to 3.
I mean, we should all take naps that often.
I agree.
Oh boy. We are our guests, listeners. That's why we're still talking and we haven't even gotten to the best thing that happened to us.
Yeah. Also, again, because Sally and I haven't had a real conversation in like 3 weeks, so.
Yeah. It's been a while.
Well, Sally, what's the best thing that's happened to you in the last month since we've talked?
A lot of wonderful things have happened. I guess I'll say one of them was that I completed the 21-day yoga challenge at my yoga studio. I completed it in 19 days. I was very proud of myself, especially because I had said from the beginning that I wanted to finish early, and I ended up falling behind around day like 18 or so. I had only taken like 15 classes. So I was like, okay, I really need to step it up here. And I doubled up for like the last 4 days or something.
That's amazing. Congratulations.
It was great. I loved it. And now my favorite yoga teacher, she knows who I am. We talk, we chit chat. It's great. I made friends with her. Not the one who I initially wanted to make friends with. I didn't make friends with her. This is with another one who is awesome. She's French. She's adorable. I love her. Leticia, I love you. But yeah, no, I hardly ever take classes with the other teacher anymore. Oh, so that's one of the best things that's happened to me. I also,
congratulations.
Released my business. I don't know if that's the best thing, but it feels big. That's part of why I'm sick. I'm pretty sure. Mm-hmm. Well, I know, but that's why I'm sick.
February's been a big month.
Yeah.
Of releasing and, well, totally. At least for me.
Yeah, I think for a lot of people. What about you? What's the best thing that's happened to you in the last month?
I don't know. The last month has been really challenging, to be perfectly honest. I kind of feel like I just burned my whole belief system to the ground. And then kind of just existed in a state of shock for about a month, you know? Like I've just been existing in a state of shock. But the good thing, or one of the many, many good things that's emerging out of it is I've had a lot of healing around my relationship with my dad, and I realized that I haven't fully allowed myself to mourn his death, and so I've been doing that more, and inside of that has been a lot of healing and a lot of awareness around who I am. So, I mean...
Oh boy.
I guess...
You are breaking up.
Oh no!
I don't know anything you said because you sounded like a robot.
Oh God. What are you doing? What are you doing, God?
Ay. What you said. What did you say?
I don't know.
Oh,
that's what I said. For all of February, I just said, what are you doing, God? What are you doing to me?
Yeah.
I would love to share the biggest awareness that came through. Am I still breaking up?
No, I can hear you now.
You know what's happening? I'm on the weaker of our two internet networks. Should I try to switch it, or do you think that's going to mess us up?
I don't know. Let's just stick with
what
you got.
I'm going to click
sure.
it.
Great.
Okay, hang on. Oh God, if I lose you, I'll be right back. Are you there?
I'm here.
Hey, it worked.
Wonderful.
So anyway, I was just saying I had a lot of healing happening, and...
Oh, you sound like a robot again.
What is going on?
This is
a gift. Best. It's part of the unfolding. What's present? What's here for me?
Ay. Well, you don't sound like a robot anymore, so maybe you can carry on now.
Maybe what's going on is that I'm telling you things from a mechanical place instead of telling you from my heart.
I like that. All right,
I'm going to try to tell you from the heart what I've what I've become aware of, and we'll see if I sound like a robot or if I sound like myself. Are you ready?
Great. Yes.
So, biggest awareness that's unfolded for me really in the last few days is that as a child, I felt like my dad was often very far away, and I would try to pull him into the present with me, and I felt like I was responsible for making him be present.
Mm.
And now that he's not here physically, a way to keep him present is to hold on to all the limiting beliefs around a lot of things that I got from him. So that's one thing. The other thing I realized is that I've been relating to God the same way I've been relating to my dad. Like, that I have to do something to keep God with me. Like, I have to be good enough at meditation or good enough at yoga and show up enough, It's like I have felt responsible for the presence of God in my life, which is not the way it's supposed to work. So,
love that.
I'm trying to let go of the doing and just learn how to be. And that's challenging. And I think my February has all been leading up to that. So now it's March.
I love it.
Yay, March.
I'm excited for March. It's going to be the best March.
All right, should we record a podcast?
Let's do it.
Okay, so our guest today is Sally.
Woo!
Yay! Sally, I would like to invite you to close your eyes now. And really, really breathe into your heart space. Opening up. Knowing that you're totally safe. And feeling into where you are a year ago today. And once you're there, share with us in one word how you were feeling.
Very curious. Those were two words. I didn't realize it until I said curious.
I was very.
I was very. I guess I was curious if I have to choose one word.
That's what you always say.
Oh boy. Well, I can't help it. That's how I start things, in a state of curiosity. Oh man, I don't know what's happening upstairs, but it's really loud.
Well, I'm curious. What are they doing up there? So, a year ago today, Sally and Justin moved into their new home together.
Yes.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy is right.
I'm surprised you said curious. I thought you were going to say, like, exhilarated.
Or, like, relieved. There was, like, the next energy that came through was relief. But curious was the first one, so that's the one that I went with.
All right, well, I don't want to talk about your curiosity. I want to talk about your sense of relief.
Tyler's over my curiosity.
It's old, it's stale. We know, you're open, you're curious, yada, yada, yada.
Yes, my relief. I was just...
I'm going to institute a rule on this show that from now on, when you're the guest, you're not allowed to say the word curious as you're feeling.
Oh boy, I may need reminders.
Okay, I'll remind you.
All right, that's fine. I'm down with that.
So tell me about your relief.
My relief. Oh, it just felt like all of this stuck and static energy of being in a place that didn't feel fully mine, which was our apartment, because he's the one, for people who don't know, for people who aren't long-time listeners, hi listeners, I moved out of my dream home and into Justin's apartment. It was supposed to be temporary, while I looked for a new place, but then I lost my steady gig, so I couldn't get a new place, and I wasn't really finding anything anyway. So I just kind of ended up staying there for longer. And then eventually we like had conversations and we're like, oh, okay, I'm just going to live here now. Okay, cool. And the timing worked out well because he was quitting his job. So, he wanted help paying rent anyway. So it just kind of all worked out and it felt good. And still it felt like, well, this is not my space. This is his space, and it just happens to have some of my stuff in it. Not even all of it. But some of my things happen to be here. And it wasn't spacious, not the way that I desired it to be. I require a lot of space and openness and light. And the apartment has like 2 lights. The entire apartment. And so not really the place that I would have chosen to live in if it had been my choice. Well, it was my choice. It was my choice, but
hold on.
But like during the like apartment hunting phase, I guess I mean, like I would have been like, this is a nice apartment. Well, why don't we keep looking for another one?
I have a question. Why did you choose to live there if it wasn't something that you wanted? Like you just said, and I think it's very telling, like that's not what I would have chosen, and yet you did choose it. So what's that about?
I think it's because during the time when I was like making the choice, I guess I just wasn't fully present to what I truly desired. I think I was just present to sort of the surface level. Like, I desire a home. At the end of the year, it was interesting because I was like reading the anticipated achievements list that I make at the beginning of each year. Usually it's just like goals or like dreams or desires, whatever. And one of the things that I wrote on it was to have a home for more than 6 months, I think, to like be in one home for more than 6 months or something, which hadn't happened at that point in a very long time. So it was like a huge deal for me to even write it. I had forgotten that I had written it down until the end of the year when I was like reviewing the list, and then I saw it and I was like, oh, well, I did that. So I think I had this very like surface level, like I just desire to be in a comfortable space for a good chunk of time. That's like comfortable. I think like comfort was more what I was thinking about rather than like the bigger things, the things that are like my truer desires, like the light, like the space, those sorts of things. Like having the room to have all of my belongings here. So that kind of stuff. So I chose it because I was coming from that energy of like comfort is key and like feeling good. Like I did feel good in that apartment, but I didn't feel as good as I know I can feel. So that's, and that all added to like this growing, it wasn't pressure, not like pressure in, I mean, I guess it did feel like pressure, but not pressure in the sense that people usually say it.
Pressure without the judgment of pressure being bad.
Exactly. Because the more that I became aware of like, oh, I'm in this space, I wouldn't have chosen it. Oh, I'm in this space and like this thing keeps going wrong. Oh, I'm in this space and like, oh, I only wish that we had 2 bathrooms. If only we had 2 bathrooms. Then like the more that I became present to all of that, then the more I was like, oh man, it'll feel so good when we have a home that's not this home, that's nicer than this, that's more aligned with both of us, with like what we both desire rather than like just one of us. And I guess also part of the relief that I'm now realizing was there, that I didn't realize was there till just now, was also like in finding something that both of us desired, like the relief that could happen, because part of the issue is that there were a few times over the course of, the year or so that I lived in that apartment with him that I would kind of bring up like moving somewhere else. And I didn't even do it as like, oh, you know, because like when we move at the end of this year, like it wasn't like that. It was just like, oh, because like it'll be fun when we live in a place that's like this or whatever. And he was not about that conversation because this was his first, it was his first apartment on his own. So it meant a lot to him. And so I remember like the very first time he like completely shut it down. He was like, well, I'm not leaving here anytime soon. Like I plan on being here for a long time. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. Didn't know.
So how did that shift? I mean, if it obviously has now that you guys have moved into your beautiful new home together. How did that process unfold?
It unfolded, I think, partially it was like Justin's gorgeous heart and like wanting to give me what I desire. Like I think opened him up to it in the beginning just because I was pretty vocal about like, I really wish he had 2 bathrooms. I remember when I told him that I had peed in the sink because like I couldn't use the bathroom and I really needed to pee, and he like...
Because somebody was in there.
Yes.
He was in there.
He was in there. And he looked like he was gonna cry. And I didn't know it was that big of a deal. I mean, like, whatever. I peed in the sink. Like, I had to pee somewhere. I cleaned it up. Like, I thought that that's what he was upset about. I was like, well, I cleaned it. It's not like I then, like, left urine in the sink. And he was just, like, so upset about how something that he already felt bad about, which is his digestive issues, was, like, really impacting me in this very real way. And he was like, I don't want that to happen. Like, I do not like that anymore. Or, like, I don't want that to happen anymore. Like, you have to tell me I have to get out of the bathroom. Or, like, I need to be...
What are you going to do if you're in the... You know, like...
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. And, like, I would say before, like, oh, hey, I really need to use the bathroom. And he'd be like, oh, okay, give me a few minutes. Because, like, he can't, like, control it either. So I was like, well, here's the sink. It's right here. It's totally fine to pee in it. Like...
I think it's funny that you chose the sink instead of peeing in, like, a cup or something.
I mean, that just seems messy.
Oh, see, I'm, like, getting myself up to the sink feels like it would be a hassle.
That part is fine.
This is funny.
So, yes, it was, like, something as, I thought, small as that. Because, like, yes, it was irritating. But it was, like, all right, fine, whatever. It's just, like, part of being here, I guess.
It's like one of those things where you don't realize how much energy it's taking up until it's shifted, and then you're like, wow.
Yeah.
That
totally.
was holding a lot of energy. It's like my sink, remember?
Yes, totally. It's totally like that. Yeah. So yes, I think he, like I said, I mean, I thought he was going to cry. And then, like, when I mentioned it again at some point, I was, like, joking around. And I was like, oh, well, I mean, I could always just pee in the sink, so don't worry about it. And he was like, no. Got very serious. He got very upset, and he was like, no, you are never peeing in the sink again.
So the reason y'all moved is because Justin could not handle the horror of you having to pee in the sink.
Yes, pretty much.
You should have just gotten yourself one of those, like, toddler,
I thought of that. I thought of that. And I was like, how do these things work? Like, I feel like I need to do more research on this. Like, where do I put it? Would I be able to squat over it? Like,
that'd be good for your legs.
That's true. That with all the yoga, I feel like I'd be in really great shape.
Well, anyway, it doesn't matter because now you have 2 bathrooms. And
yes.
So that's like how you feel the shift happened, though, is he started to see that it was actually affecting you, and that didn't feel good to him. Right.
Yes. That is correct.
Gosh, then what happened? The lease was up, and you guys were like, all right, time to make a decision.
No, the lease is not up. I think we just started talking more about, like, this far off future place. And this, like, oh yeah, it is going to be so great when we have 2 bathrooms. You're right. You're
like
so right, Sally.
The actual only point of conversation.
Or, like, it is going to be so great when, like, you know, this, you know, we have, like, a working heater. It is going to be so great when we don't have, a kitchen sink that's constantly filling up because the neighbors like got it clogged or something. I don't know, because like the pipes were weird and were all connected in a very strange way.
Kind of like life.
So it just started like that, and just dreaming up like, okay, well, where would that be? And like having all these like small conversations of like, oh, I've always wanted to live somewhere like this, or like, oh, remember that time that we went to Santa Monica and we saw that rent controlled apartment that your coworker like needed a roommate for, and like how really cool that apartment was, and how it had all that light, and it had the 2 bedrooms, and like da 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 da. So all of these kind of smaller conversations that started to kind of grow, and as our savings grew, then it started to feel like a reality, at least for me. Definitely, I was like, okay, because at that point and at this point, neither of us has a steady job, so we wouldn't be able to, like, the whole like showing your pay stubs thing to get a new place can't happen because we don't have pay stubs. Mm-hmm. So, and I know that like a lot of my entrepreneur friends, they just they'll pay 6 months rent at a time. So I always knew that we would probably have to do something like that. So we're having all those conversations, our savings was growing, and so I was like, okay, I really feel like we can make this happen. And then we just kind of like became open to it, and somebody was like moving out of a really great space and told us about it, and we were like, well, let's just take a look and we'll just see. And, if nothing else, it'll help us kind of think more about what we're looking for and like feel more into what we would like. And we both got there, and we both just knew. We were like, oh, this is where we gotta live here.
That's some powerful manifesting. You didn't even actually like apartment hunt. You just heard that someone that you knew was leaving a place. They happened to tell you about it. You went and saw it, and you were like, yes?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Which is great, because I know that, like, part of the hassle of getting a new place, or, like, the stress of getting a new place, Justin doesn't handle stress well. Mm-hmm. So you gotta, like, ease him into things, and if things are just, like, presented on a platter, I mean, 1, he will often still get stressed about it, but 2, at least he gets less stressed about it. So it was really perfect. The universe is really like, girl, we got you. Don't worry. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So can you tell me a little bit about, blah, 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 blah. Sorry, I got excited. Do you like how I'm doing a really good job of pretending like I don't already know all the details of this story when I do? Listeners, that's for you. I'm trying to take you guys on a journey. When really, I was there on the journey via text message, but that's neither here nor there.
As usual.
Tell me about the timeline. So it's like, how long was it between when the person told you and when you saw the apartment, and then when you said yes, and then when it was like signing papers, yes? Oh,
it was so fast. It was like, I don't know, like 2 or 3 weeks. It was like the fastest. Because part of why she had like told us is because she really wanted to get out of her lease sooner. So she was like really hoping that she would find a really great person to move into her place. So that then, and if it was like somebody that she knew, or like knew, the friend of a friend kind of thing, then like she could kind of have those conversations like, oh, hey, could you get in here in 2 weeks instead of like, a month and a half or whatever. Mm-hmm. So it happened really fast. She was already like packed up and like could leave at any moment. Yeah, it was similar actually to how I got the other dream place, where like all of that happened super fast too. The only thing that like took a while was for me to get the final yes, but they had already decided the yes, they just hadn't communicated it to me. This time they communicated it to me.
Each round of house hunting is getting better for you.
Yeah, totally.
So tell me about the place.
Oh, man.
You said already it's got 2 bedrooms.
It's got 2 bedrooms. We use one as an office, which is like, has been my dream for the longest time.
To have an office?
Yeah, to have like an actual room in my home that is my office space. and that I can like use to record videos and to work and to, you know, have like meetings, whatever the heck I want in there. Justin uses it too, but he uses it less because he writes from the, like, wherever he's sitting, basically. The couch, the bed, whatever. And he's been, like, filming his movies, so he's not even here all the time. So yes.
Go Justin, make movies.
That's right.
Oh my god, I thought that was never gonna happen.
I know. I'm so excited. And isn't it so great how Matt had a role in the new one?
Yeah.
It's so fun. I'm so excited.
It's fine. Our boyfriends are just conquering the world together.
Yeah,
No big deal.
It's cool. The NBD. So yeah, so it has an office. It has 2 bathrooms because one of them has an ensuite bathroom and the other, you know, then there's like a separate bathroom.
Wait, so you've got like the master bedroom with the ensuite, and then you've got the other bathroom, and you've got the office. Do you have his and her sinks?
No, we don't.
Oh, man.
Maybe next time.
In my apartment in college, when I didn't really understand how good I had it because I had never been to New York and seen what apartments here look like, my senior year, my roommate and I had an apartment, and it was 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, you know, like big, big rooms. And her bathroom was like normal size. But my bathroom had his and her sinks and like all these cabinets, and it was just me in there. And oh man, sometimes I would use the like alternating sinks just because I could.
Just 'cause. Yeah, and we don't have that, but maybe next time, or maybe
my rent was like $600 a month. Oh boy.
Oh gosh. Rent.
Rent. It's so funny, you know, I just realized Rent, the musical, is like such a big part of why I moved to New York. And it's so funny because like Rent is such a big deal.
Yeah, this is very true.
You gotta be careful. Oh my god, now that's okay, it's fine. I'm just realizing something that I manifested.
What did you manifest? Tell me.
I mean, I feel like part of the reason that I spent such a long time not having any money is because I spent such a long time singing the songs about not having enough money to pay rent. Like, I could sing the entire soundtrack of Rent from beginning to end without a pause, without even the music playing. Like, and it's just all about being poor. So no wonder I struggled so much those first, 10 years. No, not 10. 6 years in New York, 7 years in New York.
Oh, yeah, I love that. That's a really good realization.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Hi.
I'm going to go home and find my Rent CD, and I mean like home to New Mexico, and break it in half.
Sorry, Jonathan Larson, we love you.
Oh, too soon.
Oh, man. Ugh. Yeah, I hear you though.
What are the windows like?
The windows are really...
Now I want to know more.
I was thinking about Rent. Okay, so the windows are really gorgeous. There's so many of them, which is so great. Because, I also really love when, like, the breeze comes in. I like a natural breeze.
I need to know more about, like, the wider area. Like, what kind of a building? What floor are you on? Is there an elevator? Do you have to walk upstairs? Like,
there's not an elevator. We do have to walk up the stairs. It's, like, a very, like, traditional LA... Santa Monica, like, complex where it's got, like, the courtyard.
Okay.
Like the Melrose Place kind of situation.
So stairs are on the outside. They're not inside.
Right, exactly.
Like a hotel. Like one of those scary hotels where you think you might get killed.
Yeah, like that. But it's very
Only
safe.
Nice.
It's very safe. And the courtyard's really beautiful. And it's got, like, little benches out there. So I can sit down and read whenever I'd like. And, like, if I want to work outside, I can, and I feel good about it. Because, fun fact, when I was living, Yamel's apartment building is like that, too. It's the very, like, traditional LA kind of building complex. But because I didn't live there, technically, I never went outside. I always wanted to. Like, they did have benches, and I always wanted to go outside and, like, sit by the benches, but I always felt like somebody's going to ask me what I'm doing here, and I'm going to be like, I don't live here. You see me here every day, but I don't live here.
Yeah, but you were staying with someone. You think she would have gotten in trouble?
I feel like she might have. This is, like, one of the paranoid things that I had about staying at other people's places, unless, like, I knew for sure that it was cool. Like, in the house in New Jersey, who cares, because I was supposed to be there. But like, you know, at Justin's apartment, for instance, you're supposed to pay extra if there's somebody staying with you for like longer than like 9 nights or something.
What?
So, yeah. So, and we didn't pay extra. So I was always very paranoid about like, oh my God, if I'm here too much, then like they're going to notice and they're going to be like, why don't you pay the extra like fee or whatever the heck it was?
How much extra did they want you to pay?
I don't remember, but I remember that it was something when I first heard it that didn't seem like that big of a deal. But when I asked Justin about it again, he's like, we're not paying extra.
Well, Justin is weird about stuff like that.
Yeah. So he was like, absolutely not. So he like wouldn't even tell me. So we never paid the extra.
All right,
and I
so
just
now
would hope for the best.
There's a new home. You're technically allowed to be there.
Yep,
So you feel
I'm allowed
comfortable
to be
sitting
there.
on the benches.
Yep. And I could be the one who calls the super when something's wrong.
Oh, that's
great.
gotta be nice to be able to like
It's
take
very
care of
good.
things without
Yes.
Justin's help.
Totally. I could just be like, hey, I need this fixed, or like, this is happening. Like, can you, how can you support me? Which is great.
Gotta feel good for both of you.
Yeah, totally. And it's great too, because like now that he's traveling a lot because of filming and stuff. And so I'm not just stranded for like weeks at a time hoping nothing goes wrong.
I can just imagine like calling him on location and you're like, the sink is doing that weird thing again.
Yeah. Oh man. Yes. So yeah, the windows are gorgeous. They're really lovely. It's really beautifully decorated because we kept Justin's furniture, but then because it's a bigger space, we got to buy new furniture too. So then I got to like really have a say in that. And the office is pretty much all me.
So you don't have his and hers sinks, but you do have his and hers furniture.
Yeah. Yep. Which is great. It ended up working out, fairly nicely. And we did end up getting rid of Justin's very expensive sofa. 'Cause
He loves that sofa.
he did, but it's like, it was falling apart, and I finally convinced him that having a sofa that's not very functional for sitting in, it's maybe not the best bet. Like, maybe we should get one that you can actually live in.
What was your favorite piece of furniture to buy?
Oh, man. This is great. My new desk chair.
Your new desk chair.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Because I wanted something that looked really fantastic. And that, like, was a pop of color, and it wasn't, like, just some ugly, boring office chair. But that was, like, yeah, it needed to be both comfy and stylish. And that's much more challenging to find than you might think. I do know that from the first time that I tried to buy a desk chair when I lived in the dream home. Dream home number 1. So, this time I really took my time. I was very patient. And I was very, like, I just kept getting clearer. Every time I found something I didn't want, I got really clear on what I did. And so then I was like, okay, this is great. And so now I sit on it all the time. I love it. It's the best. It's teal. It's gorgeous. It's super comfy. Oh, it was great. It was worth the investment.
How much did it cost?
Lots of dollars. It was like close to $1,000.
Holy cow!
Yeah. It's worth it. Worth every penny.
I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe it's worth it. What did you guys do on the first night in your new home?
We...
Is it X-rated?
The very first thing I was going to say was we had a lot of great sex. And then I was like, I don't think Justin would like us sharing that. So I tried to think of what we ate instead. We like ordered takeout. Really we just like got the carving board, which is what we always get when we want to eat out. And like watched TV. And like we're binging whatever the heck we were binging at that time, and hung out on the couch and just like relaxed. And you know how I'm like super like when I move to a new place I need to unpack everything before I even get settled in. I unpacked most things, but I wasn't like super crazy about it because I was like, I would really like to just enjoy this night, and it's okay that I'm not going to stay up until 4 o'clock in the morning unpacking everything. So I got to just like relax, and we just had fun, and I just kept looking around like, this is amazing. We are here in our awesome apartment. I'm obsessed with it.
That feels like it has a lot of energy to it, that idea of you being able to relax a little.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, I think over this past year, I've really seen you relax.
Yeah.
And it feels good.
Yeah, it feels like a real acknowledgement of being taken care of. Like, I don't have to rush to do anything because it's all going to be great. It feels good.
What else do you think has changed about you in the last year since you and Justin have moved into your new home? I mean, you've been there. A year is a long time.
Yeah, it is. I think part of it is like I have more freedom now. I feel like I have more freedom now.
Yeah, you can sit on the benches.
Yes, that too. But also to really like explore my like likes and dislikes and like what's true to me. So, from things as simple as like, am I going to sing out loud today? Which is like another thing that I would never do, or that I would hardly ever do when I was like in other people's spaces, because I was like, well, they can't get in trouble for my singing. I'm not even supposed to be here. So like little things like that then become like, okay, cool. Well, I am going to sing out loud today. What am I going to sing? I took away the pressure of like having to like new music, because I realized that I'm perfectly fine with just listening to the Beatles and the Bee Gees for the rest of my life. Plenty of great music already exists. But yeah, it's like something as small as that then like feels really significant. Like, I'm not trying to force myself to be somebody I think I'm supposed to be. I'm just allowing myself to play with who I might like to be. And if it feels good, then I can do more of it or be more of it. And if it doesn't, then I'm like, oh, well, guess that's not me.
Why do you think you couldn't do that when you and Justin were technically like living together in his apartment and it was technically belonging to both of you?
I think partially it was the like, well, I'm not supposed to be here thing. And really releasing that like feels so good.
I mean, yeah, on a macro level, think about what that must have been doing to your psyche.
Yeah.
I'm not supposed to be here.
Yeah, it's not good. Not good things. And especially since like one of my lifelong like things is like feeling like a burden to people. So it was just like, oh, this is just another way that I'm a burden. And I think also it's just like, I think in some ways it was already happening, the things I'm describing, like playing with who I think I might be and like seeing if that feels good or not. But it was happening in all these ways that like, that felt like no's. That felt like, oh, I guess I'm not the kind of person who can live in an apartment with only 2 overhead lights. Like, oh, I guess I'm not the kind of person who can live in this condition. As opposed to like here, it feels like free, it feels more open, it feels more like spacious, and it feels like good things lead me to that. Like, ooh, that thing just happened and it felt so good. Let me try it again. As opposed to, oh, that light bulb went out. Wow, I'm really present to the fact that we barely have light. So, yeah, so it's just kind of like a little bit of a shift in how things manifest that then has very radically shifted where I go from there.
Tell me more about that. I'm trying to be with you, but I want you to be more specific.
So I think it's like, in the simplest terms, maybe being in that apartment still felt a little bit like I was learning my lessons through pain or like discomfort or not fully things that I loved and was jazzed about. As opposed to now, like really learning from things that feel good. Because the way that I was learning in that apartment was because I was surrounded by things that I wouldn't have chosen. Like, that's how I became present to, oh, I guess I am a person who needs an apartment with more light, right? So like something that small. I realized that because I was in an apartment that was very dark, as opposed to being in a place that was very bright and me being like, oh, I love this. Yes. Like, I am a person who needs to be in a place with a lot of light. So it's like, then everything kind of takes on a new meaning because, you know, I am a curious person. I am a person that believes that every situation has some sort of lesson or has the potential to have a lesson. And it felt like in that apartment, I constantly had to make not good things have a lesson. And here it feels like wonderful things get to have lessons. I don't know if that's clearer, but that's how it came through to explain it.
Yeah. I feel like I understand that.
Yeah, so it shifts a lot more than, like, I guess you would think, or that I was, like, aware of before. Because then suddenly when everything feels that open and that good, then it feels more free and you feel like you can experiment more. Like, I can decide, okay, great, today I'm going to try, I don't know, lighting candles as my light. I'm not going to turn on any of the overhead lights. I'm just going to light candles. I'm like, do I like this? But I have the option of turning on the lights if I don't like it, as opposed to just sitting in the dark and being like, well, that experiment did not work out.
I don't like it, and there's really no alternative option. That's funny.
So
it's only funny because you're not living it anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
How have things shifted between you and Justin since you guys have, like, chosen to inhabit a space together, like, much more consciously?
It feels really good. It feels even more like we're a team, which I really love and constantly would say to Justin. I'd just be like, I just don't feel like we're a team right now. That would be how I would start conversations sometimes.
Aww.
Or I would be like, I feel like we're really a team right now and it feels so good. And he'd be like, okay. That's great.
Even at the old place?
Yeah. I mean, I say that like all the time. It'll be like, you know, I don't know, like deciding to go to the dine-in together. And I'd be like, oh my God, didn't that feel so good? It really feels like we're a team. And he'd be like, great. That's wonderful.
So what's the shift? It just feels like that more?
Yeah, it feels like that more. And he's like more, I think, into it. I think I've celebrated it so much that now it's like become part of him too.
Well, do you think that's a product of the move, or do you think that's just a product of having been together for longer?
Maybe a bit of both. I think that Justin, like, the more that he has seen the physical manifestation of, like, all these things that I would say, or, like, insist that not insist, but, like, I would invite him to feel, then he's been more on board. So he's been more like, you know, you were right. It was good to stay positive during that, you know, that deal. Like, you were totally right. It did open us up to an even better producer. Or, oh, that did open us up to look at this awesome couch and it was on sale. So I think that he really loves when he sees, like, tangible benefits to something.
Don't we all?
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
Oh my God, this is a slight aside, but Matt got me, I guess 2 years ago now, he got me this board game for Christmas called Better Me, and it's like a personal growth board game.
Oh my gosh.
And there's one category, like, oh wow, the sirens are really loud. Hang on, I let them pass. Anyway, he got me this board game called Better Me, and the first time that we played it with friends over, we were like laughing at the cards because there's like different categories. You know, one's like love and one is, I don't know, I'm forgetting. But one of the categories is tangibles.
Oh, boy.
And so my friend Kathleen and I started being like, hashtag tangibles. It's important to have the tangible reflection.
Yeah, it really is. And I don't think that it's, I think sometimes people feel like, oh, they turn into like whiny babies if they insist on receiving it too much. But I think that there's totally a space before you get to whiny baby where you can just be like, you know, I would really love some real tangible representations of all this awesome work that I'm doing with myself, or, you know, whatever. Mm-hmm. All this good that I'm putting out there. Yeah. And Justin really he really loves when things feel better in the physical realm.
Again, don't we all?
Yeah, totally.
Oh, what is your favorite memory of the last year that is specifically related to your new home? I guess favorite thing that happened at the home in the last year.
I hosted, well, I guess but mostly me, hosted a really fun, like, dinner party. It was sort of like joint dinner party, joint game night, because Justin and his friends are super into games, and I'm super into cooking for people. And it wasn't for, like, it wasn't, like, for, like, Thanksgiving. It wasn't for, like, the 4th of July. It wasn't for, like, a holiday or an occasion. It was just, like, you know, I would really love to host, like, a dinner party, and him being like, oh, okay, that sounds fun, and me being like, and we could have games in it, and he was like, great, and so then he was really on board. And it was just such a fun night. It was, like, super casual. It started, you know, like, on the early side, and then, like, went on really late for all the people who were still playing games. And it was just so fun. It was, like, so much laughter, so much love, so much, like, relaxation, and just really enjoying being with each other. And it just felt so good. It felt like one of those moments where it was like, oh, I could die right now and it'd be great. I would have lived a great life. This is the best.
Yeah, I've had a lot of those moments at our home too, where it's like there's friends over and everyone's having such a good time and you feel really relaxed and you're like, oh my God, this is everything I've ever wanted.
Yep, totally.
So
good.
And it's like having a home where you have the freedom to do that is kind of a prerequisite.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. There's no room for burden energy when you're when you've got that going on.
Mm-hmm. Well, what else is present for you as you think about, celebrating a year in this new home? Are you guys going to stay there? What's the lease situation? Are you guys already manifesting the next bigger, better, lighter, brighter his and her sink home? Or are you feeling content for now?
I feel really good here, and I do feel open to, you know, maybe we're not going to be here for as long as we think. I mean, we were already here for longer than I think we thought we would be here, because it started out as a sublet? I was going to say sublease, and I was like, I don't know that's it. I know English. So I'm open. I think we both are.
Justin's open too?
He's open too. Now that,
that's
like,
exciting.
Yeah, now that things are really, like, rolling in his life, he's become more open to things. It's really great. Yeah, I think I'm just, the only thing I'm present to is just this, like, deep level of satisfaction. And yeah, going back to that, like, relief feeling, it's like the other side of that is satisfaction, it feels like, and just knowing that we're here and it feels so good, and it's just like, yes, fulfillment. That's the other That's the other feeling that I'm present to. Now I'm just giving you all of my one word answers. Too close. Yeah. And excited. These are all the things I'm present to. All of these wonderful emotions that I love.
So if you could go back to a year ago today, on that day that you guys moved from your first home together, which was Justin's apartment, to the first home that you chose together. If you could go back to that day and speak to yourself from the woman that you are now, what would you say?
This is going to be so delicious. Soak up every moment of it. Every time that you feel like things could not possibly get any better, just remember that they can. And just really breathe that in and allow the even better to come in.
And I have another question.
Yes.
If you could go back and talk to yourself a year and a half ago, before you knew that this move was coming, because it did happen so fast, and if you could go back and talk to that version of yourself that was living in Justin's apartment and wasn't totally happy there, what would you say to her?
I would tell her, just allow yourself to keep dreaming. There are no closed doors. Everything is wide open. Just allow yourself to keep dreaming and enjoying that process of dreaming up. And just breathe into it and really have fun with it. And if you want to think about living in a mansion, think about living in a mansion. Yeah, just really allow yourself to dream.
Oh boy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can't believe it's been a year and I haven't been to visit yet.
You gotta come.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Am I going to be allowed to sit on the benches outside, though?
You can sit on the benches. And there's no extra that I have to pay for having a guest for more than 9 nights.
Well, that's good. That's the weirdest thing I've ever heard. Oh my goodness.
It's going to be so fun.
Oh boy. Well, Sally.
Yep, that's me.
Thanks for talking to us.
Thanks for having me.
If people want to find you on the internet, where would they look?
They could find me at Sally Simply on all the social media, and they can go to sallymercedes.com.
Yay!
My awesome new website. I mean, the website itself is old, but it's redesigned.
It's constantly new.
Yes, exactly. What about you?
I'm at TylerFowler.com and Tyler Fowler on all the social media, and you can find our podcast everywhere podcasts are found. It's called A Year Ago Today. And we are ayearagopodcast.com, A Year Ago Podcast on all the social media. And you can email us at ayearagopodcast@gmail.com.
Totally. We love email.
Woo-hoo. We get so much of it.
So much. Oh, I love it so much.
I know. It's so fun. Okay, so what else? Oh, if you like our intro-outro music, you can follow Zena Hell on some things.
Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, ZYNAHEL. Oh, yeah, SoundCloud also. Good work there, Tyler. I'm just so excited.
I know. So, where do you sit at your new house when you record podcasts?
In my office, I built a little fort. But it's an easy to make fort.
Oh man! Next time I move, I'm building a recording studio in my house.
Yeah, maybe I need to. Room. Yeah, it feels like now I need to start a list of the new manifestations because I'll need a soundproof room.
I have a list going for sure.
And the his and hers sinks.
Well, you don't have to have that unless you want it.
Seem nice.
You could could be washing your face right next to each other, brushing your teeth right next to each other.
Yeah, that's true. And Justin likes when we do things together, so
oh my God.
I think he'll be into it.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much, Sally, for talking to me.
That was great.
Love you.
I love you.
Love you, listeners.
You guys are the bomb.
Until next time.
Peace out.
Bye.